a quick video on how I did my Hideaway headlights on my 68 GTO. Be the same, similar setup for the Chargers, Camaros, older Corvettes. Ames Performance sells a lot of this stuff. It's a lot more expensive. What I did get from them was this check valve for vacuum. This vacuum hose I have comes around the radiator back towards the front to these vapor switching valves that are actually a Toyota vapor switching valve. I have two of them. They have to alternate to do up and down. So they're linked together with some T's that I got at the parts store. So this is the up side, up, left, up, right, and they're both hooked to the solenoid. So when it's one of these is normally open, there's three hoses coming off of here. It's hard to see, three hoses. So this is the vacuum source. So it's going vacuum source connected to this side, and this side's plugged to force them up. And then when you turn your head, the way I have mine wires, when the headlights actually come on, it supplies power to this wire, and I have this wire going back and into this blue wire, and it goes back into the dimmer switch. That way it'll turn on when I turn my park. The headlights won't come on until I pull them all the way out, so I can run my park lights and have my headlights closed still. And then this ground I had on one of the actuators, so they both turn on and they just alternate. So then for down, the vacuum switches from this one to this hose, and then I have this teed to go to this one to block it up, and it's to hold it at that point, and then to the right up, or that's right lower and left lower, so it's going to lower the hoses. These don't have the reason there's two of them is because if you have just one of them, it'll put vacuum on both sides, and it won't allow the vacuum actuators to move. The vacuum actuators actually work pretty good. I got them from Ames, and they're about $70. But basically this is all factory stuff. There's new bushings in the ends, which makes a big difference, and then a good spring, and you got to adjust that. So they should open and close by hand fairly easy before you go and hook this style up, or this situation up. So basically I'm doing the same thing that they had from the factory, except all of these hoses went to the headlight switch. The up hose, the vacuum source, and the down hose all went to the vacuum switch, and the vacuum switch, or the vacuum headlight switch, did the function of these switches. But none of this is going through the firewall. None of this is going by a hot engine, get gas on it, get heat on it, and they just crack and deteriorate like hoses do. And the one thing I am missing is I don't have a vacuum canister, and the vacuum canister that they had was another source for leaks, but it allowed you to when you shut the car off, you could turn the headlights off, and there'd be enough vacuum in the canister to close the doors. I did that on purpose because, one, I just let it run a little longer before I shut the headlights off if I want them to close. But that also allows me to service my headlights without the engine running, so I can have the car, turn the lights on, start up the car, open the doors, shut the car off, change the headlight, and don't have to worry about the doors wanting to shut because I turned the headlights off. because it literally only takes a few seconds for them to open and close. So it looks kind of messy, and I have this all off because I'm putting in a condenser, but I did this all with the bumper on, and I think I only had the lower valance off, so you can get to the actuators and adjust everything and get the hoses hooked up. But it's simple, it's cheap,